motorcycle camping and waterfalls on Tioga Pass, and exploding rocks from above, all coming up on this episode.
Well, after hanging out over the old ghost town of Columbia for a couple of weeks, hanging out with my buddy Brian, I'm headed south to make another attempt to ride through Sequoia and Kings Canyon and do some of these awesome passes that I've heard about that have been covered in snow since I got here. So that's what I'm doing today. Probably be camping on one of the passes tonight. Probably be close to Sequoia, maybe sometime tomorrow. I don't know. I'm just slowly dragging ass down the Sierras to a couple of parks that I haven't seen before because I got no excuse. I got time. I got a lifetime pass for the national parks, and by golly, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing today.
All the roads on this side of the Sierras are amazing. This is Tioga Pass, and here I'm passing a bunch of Harleys. People think that I give Harleys a hard time. I think it's simply because you see more of them on the road, and especially you see more Harleys riding together. And at this point, they're not actually going that slow, but I knew I was going to have to get ahead of them because I knew that they were not going to be taking the corners on the pass very fast. The pass just recently opened up. It's covered in snow all winter long, and they have to shovel all the snow off. They close it during the winter, but here's the stretch just beyond this is the pass that was closed. They put a little gate here. Well, actually, there's a gate further up the pass, but they prevent people from having to turn around when they get to the gate at the bottom there at Kennedy Meadows. But you can see this is a pretty amazing road. It's one of the highlights, I think, of this trip. And the shocking thing was, when I was up here the first time, I didn't see a whole lot of bikes up here. If you had something like this back east, there would be motorcycles and cars all over it, just having fun. But shockingly, I didn't see that many. All those Harleys that I passed turned into Kennedy Meadows. I guess that's the turnaround point for most bikes, and I can see why. This is, I would say, treacherous for folks that don't know how to drive or ride, because there's a lot of switchbacks, there's a lot of dangerous curves, and there's no guardrails. There's no safety catches for people that don't know what they're doing on a motorcycle. And I'm sure quite a lot of people have died on motorcycles up here over the years. And somebody even told me that this was not a pleasant road to ride. I think that was Brian that told me that it was not a pleasant road to ride 10 years ago. So I don't think it's gotten the reputation that other roads back east would have at this altitude and beauty and the curves and the road. I think Brian said the road was really rough. It was more like a Jeep road, paved, but still very rough and unpleasant to ride. So maybe it's just taking the time to build a reputation as one of the most amazing passes in the United States. Amazing trips, passes. This is the western side of the pass, and I haven't even gotten up to the top yet, and it's almost as good on the other side, just less snow and maybe a little bit less scenic, but I don't know. I was just going down that time, and I was just going across the pass this journey to get to the other side. But yeah, this is quite an amazing road, and as you can see, there's still lots of snow up here.
I remember seeing a cartoon or something. I think it may have been a sign. He said had a big Saint Bernard with one of those kegs under his neck, like a ski patrol rescue dog. And the sign underneath it said, "Don't eat Yellowstone." Top of Sonora Pass. I think I read 9,000, just a little over 9,000 feet. Going down to hit 395, I think, Bridgeport, then south. Take another pass over into towards Sequoia. Anyway, I haven't really navigated. Just kind of glanced at a map and said, "Oh, that's where I'm going." They just opened the pass last week, and I think they closed it Saturday, but man, there's some hard pack. There's people up there skiing right now. I don't think I want to ski this stuff. This is almost like ice. All right, let's go see what's on the downhill side. More of the same, just less snow, it looks like so far. Second gear. I can handle that too. Yeah.
I think if you're coming out of state, you probably should be careful and be aware that they do close the pass and it takes them a while to open it back up. This was in May, so I would think I think probably the best thing to do is just look online and find out when the pass is going to be open, when they predict it's going to be open, and maybe plan your out-of-state journeys into this region as best you can. I know it's probably going to be hard coming any kind of distance, but I would highly recommend that you ride all the passes. I got to ride Sonora. I did not get to ride Tioga. They weren't open. They were still blasting rocks, but that's a video that's coming up soon. I actually got down below the pass and got to enjoy that for a couple of days, waiting for them to open, and they never did. But yeah, it's a disappointment. Also missed Ebbets, but that's probably more of a logistical time frame thing more than anything else. But yeah, it's fantastic pass, more curves than most people can handle in one day, and you could do multiple passes in one day, which is kind of crazy. If you're into miles, eating miles and doing curves all day long, this is the place to do it. And after I crossed the pass, I decided to visit the ghost town of Bodie. I've only seen pictures. I didn't really know what to expect. The pictures that I saw were pretty extraordinary. A very well-preserved, intact ghost town that is operated by the state park. Good or bad, I guess I just expected to roll into the middle of the desert out here on this side of California and just roll into a ghost town, which it's a little bit more than that. By the time I got out here, the ghost town, I think it had been closed 15 minutes. I mean, they hadn't run anybody out, but I guess just not knowing what to expect, I just guessed I could roll down a dirt road and find Bodie and just kind of hang out and maybe do some overnight on one of the porches of an old saloon or an old mercantile. But yeah, it's much better kept than I expected and operated by looked like full-time staff of park rangers, which little bit of a surprise, but also a bit disappointing too.
My biggest question at this point is, well, number one, do they have an attendant? Do they have a ranger? Do they have somebody stopping people from coming in the park? Because I've got like 10 minutes left, less than 10 minutes, which made me, I get at the gate when they close up. But more than likely, the biggest question I've got is, can I get to the park? Can I get to the town on my bike? Because if I've got to walk like a half a mile to get there, I'm not going in. So maybe they can answer that question when I get to the gate, if there is a gate. If not, Jamie said it would be epic if I could camp overnight there. Said that would make me a legend. I don't know if risking jail would make you a legend, but I think it would be a pretty cool video. I think he also said that. How about that view? Oh, that's pretty epic. No drone zone. There's the beautiful pass not accepted. Vehicle they use pass not accepted. Wow. All right. So the good news is, looks like I'm in without paying. But I think you're also, oh, there's a ranger in here. Yeah, let's hope I don't get run off quickly.
It was certainly disappointing to see that I wasn't going to be able to march right in there with my motorcycle and park right up next to a saloon. But yeah, like I said, all I think I've seen was Instagram photos, and it was pretty hot in addition to the fact that I was tired already. But shortly after that, I ran into this massive lake with all these weird formations in the middle of it. And it turns out that this is going to be really close to where I wound up camping. And I was able to come back and explore the lake. They had museums, and there's tons of history about this lake. But it is a lake with underground springs that have made these amazing formations that look like stalagmites the bottom of the cave. And if you think about how they were formed, and that's basically how I had to ask a couple of people how those formations occurred, because I was thinking maybe this was a cave system before, and it took a while for the lady to explain it. Then I saw a documentary explaining it all, and I came back and explained it to her so she could maybe help the next person that was confused. Here I am pulling into the gas station in Lee Vining, and you get a shot of the price of gasoline. It's a little bit higher than the rest of the country.
Yeah, so this is Tioga Pass. This is what they do when they don't want to get the freaking snowplows up there almost as summer. Sons of bitches. And I think you could probably get around that with a dirt bike, but not with this big pig. That's a well-placed rock right there. And over there too. I was hoping I would get a little bit further up before the road closed, but let's go check out these campgrounds back here. They're probably all paid, all have picnic tables, blah, blah, blah. What a shame. Campground. Closed, closed, closed. Camping allowed only in developed campgrounds. Well, what the hell do you do when all the campgrounds are closed? Well, there's camping only allowed in developed campgrounds, except they're all closed. So what's the exception then? No camping. Little sign that says no camping. I think they probably don't want you on the river. A lot of forest. They're real touchy about your nasty ass being close to a river. Human impact. Oh, sure, all the wildlife can shit in the river, but not you filthy humans. This is about the time usually I start looking for a camp. It's almost 5 o'clock. The sun's going down, but it's going to go down really quick over the Sierras. So man, that's pretty creepy. Oh wow, look at that waterfall! Nice. Big Bend campground. No dust. 2 miles an hour. Campground road. Overnight camping. I bet I could get across that. That was the campground. I hope this is what the boat is. Caught a picture of that. Well, obviously, if I'm going to be, camping in here, it's probably going to be stealth camping, and I'm going to have to get across these berms or this ditch on this side. So. But this looks promising. I mean, totally against the rules, probably, but promising nonetheless. It's the old power station. Who owns this? But there's a sign out over there. Full hydroelectric. I'm gonna go talk to this camp host and see if he'll let me camp at this campground before it opens. I'm just gonna discuss with him. And I'm going to do it all while I'm on camp. Yeah, this could be an interesting conversation. Off duty? So, campground's closed. And it looks like they don't want anybody camping outside the campground. So what does a guy do like me?
You mean for like tonight?
Yeah.
You camp here?
Can I?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a hammock camper, so I need a couple of trees.
There's a couple of trees past that tent, but they're kind of hard to get to. There's an empty tent up there if you don't want to sleep in your hammock.
What's that?
There's an empty tent up there.
Is there really?
Yeah.
When's the campground
Friday.
open? Friday?
Yeah, Friday. I'd open it
When's
now,
the pass open? I was hoping to do the pass.
Now from what the one guy I know at Caltrans said, they're going to blow the big boulder. Today's Tuesday. They're going to blow the big boulder Wednesday, and they'll clear it Thursday and have the road ready by Friday.
Oh, I didn't know there was a boulder.
There's a huge boulder up there, right? The blue slide is a giant boulder.
I don't know anything about Tioga.
No,
So
yeah.
I just did Sonora because I was like, oh, it opened. Well, I think Tioga's going to be open too, but yeah.
My son has that same bike.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he loves it. Absolutely.
Yeah, this has been a blast. Yeah.
We both raced desert for years, and then he started doing adventure stuff, and
Yeah.
he bought a DR650 Suzuki, and it was okay, but it's it's simple to work on your car.
Yeah, sure.
And he goes, now I'm getting married, I got a wife, and she wants to ride, so he went out and got a Tenere, and he absolutely loves it. And then he joined the Navy, so
That's
sitting in Bend, Oregon. And I said, I'll ride it for you.
There you go.
Ride it for you.
So the next morning I went into town to explore not only the lake but some of the natural wonders, and these are a few of the formations. I'm guessing they actually pulled these out of the lake, but there's still quite a few of these massive formations on the lake, and apparently they're a bird habitat also, but these formations are like inverted cave systems instead of dissolved matter dripping from the ceilings, forming stalactites and stalagmites. The natural springs under the lake push the dissolved minerals up, and they form from the bottom up, which is kind of interesting. Another interesting thing is these fly larvae that live in the lake. apparently, on one of the documentaries, they were talking to some natives that once inhabited the region, and those flies are what they ate. And I wished I could show you some of the footage. They made these straw nets that they caught these fly larvae, and the flies, the actual flies, and that's what they ate. It's kind of, I guess out here you got to do something different to survive, but I just thought that was very unusual, very interesting.
New plan this morning. New plan is to get on my motorcycle and leave before Caltrans comes over here and runs me off. Kerry has already rolled out. He went down the road to catch some campers that he knows that are probably unaware that the canyon is being evacuated. If I could just make it out of here with my coffee intact, let me see if I can do a better job of this. Bouncing my coffee this morning. Let's see how well I do this. Yeah, so the plan is, so if I roll out now, they may not have anybody at the road asking questions, and I could say, well, he rolled out really early. Where's the other guy? He rolled out really early. So I'm just gonna roll over here across the street in the closed campground, and I guess they could probably figure out if they took a head count yesterday, they could say there's 2 guys camping up here, and that's it. So we make sure those 2 guys get out. Damn, I don't know where that road is. I would like to know where the road is. Maybe I could set up a camera, my zoom lens camera. Pretty sure I can get through. Yeah, I can get through this. I'm not even sure I would call that a tight squeeze. Nah. Thread the needle, baby. Thread the needle. It's so beautiful back here. Only problem is it's very swampy. So big trees, water all around, but there's some little standing water patches over here too. So, but maybe a little peace and quiet. Maybe at least until the blasting goes off, right? Maybe. Still here. That is a good sign. Very exposed up front. I was gonna just hang out by the bathrooms, but I don't particularly care for the smell of vault toilets. So I think instead and I'll give y'all a tour here in a second. Pitch tents on pads only. Never seen that sign before. Yeah, I think I would just get behind as many trees as possible. That's the plan right now. Hang behind as many thick trees as possible. Low profile would be good, but I don't know. This is probably good. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. Yep. So far I've gotten away with it. It's 3 minutes after 8, so I'm guessing they're probably going to do, I mean, if they're going to make you evacuate, they're probably going to do a sweep. So that's why I'm hanging out here maybe for another 30 minutes and then maybe run up the road, see if I can get some good shots. But right now I wanted to get some shots of this creek running here. This actually might be a river, but you can hear the wind is just freaking howling, except it's up there in these big ponderosas, I guess. These things are monsters. Yeah, a few more minutes. Run out and see if there's any activity. I want to put a drone up, see if I can capture the side of the mountain going off, exploding. That is the goal this morning. Well, these are my goals. That and getting a decent shot of this creek river.
So I waited around until I felt the coast was clear, and then I got out and put the drone up and got some really good shots of the side of the mountain. But about the time, just before the last blast, the wind picked up and took my drone away, crashed it into the mountains. I could never recover it. It lost the battery, so I couldn't find it. Yeah, it was very disappointing and sad. I missed the drone. It's the first time I've crashed it.
Yeah, so I lost my fucking drone because there's 50-mile-an-hour winds up here, and the winds were calming down. Look at that waterfall, woo! So the winds were calming down, and it was warming up. So I thought, okay, now's my chance to get a shot. I figured they were probably going to do another blast of that big rock out there. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll put the drone up, just see how long I can hang out up there. I got a big, I don't know, 270-degree shot. And then I was thinking, man, wind's picking up. I need to pull it back down. I could never pull it back down. It just took off like a kite. And it's down here closer to camp somewhere, but I lost signal, can't find the drone, can't turn the beeping on, and it's in pretty dense woods, and I got one leg, so just kissing that drone goodbye. It's a pretty good drone. So was the last one. Well, the good news is they're pretty cheap. They were only a couple $100, both of them. One of them I crashed like 4 or 5 times, broke all kinds of parts. I never crashed this one at all. Never had any problems out of it until today, which was, I should have known better. It's a mini, so it's very light. It's 249 grams. It's very light, which means the air can catch it pretty easily. Damn, there's cars going down the thing. Huh. There's no way they could have opened the pass by now. That's the first car I've seen driving on the pass, so maybe that's a good sign. But anyway, so 249 grams for the drone, which means the wind can catch it really easily. And it's not really fast. I even turned on sport mode to try to keep, because I was trying to come back. The wind was pushing it down the canyon, and I was just trying to come back up the canyon to land it somewhere. I was trying to land it on the road. I was like, anywhere on this road, I can get to it. And there's nobody coming on this road today. Nobody riding down the road, so I figured, okay, good. As long as I can land it on the road, I can pick it up, blow the dust off, everything will be fine. But I never could get it down. It just kept blowing down the canyon. And finally wound up in some trees. I lost signal 2 or 3 times. Got the signal, backed it up, and had altitude error, and then rotors, and I was like, it's good. Finally got a signal of it hung up in a tree, and that was the last I saw of it. So. I don't do a lot of drone footage. And I rarely do drone footage in the wind. I just wanted to get one good shot of that fucking pass before I left. And I got a couple of good shots, and they're on the drone. I've got some low res stuff on the camera. I may pull that off and show you what I lost. But probably the last picture is going to be hanging up in that tree. Sad. Well, now I'm wondering what kind of chaos I'm going to get into coming out of the gate. It's freaking out, all these trees. Hey, there's somebody on there. I guess they've opened this road back up. That's the first vehicle I've seen out here since those paddlers left this morning.
Yes, I was very sad to lose my drone, but excited to be back on the road, and got back on 395 and started heading south. And although the road is not near as spectacular as Tioga passes, or any of the passes for that matter, the scenery was brilliant, and it's just one of those things. If you don't like curves, 395 is extraordinary, and I think it's just everywhere you go on 395 is extraordinary. But this was certainly not the end of my journey, and the journey continues. It's a big loop around the Sierras, and lots of trouble that I get into on the way, and that's coming up next time.